adding more overdrive to the Ecto. Welcome back to the channel, guys. And this time around, we're gonna do a little bit more overdrive. This time on the Ecto. It comes with overdrive already in it. Now, it also comes within the bag so that you can add more overdrive. So, is it really a mod? Because it come with it, so it's still technically box stock. And I haven't done any mods to this car whatsoever. There's been nothing. I've not ordered anything for this car. So I'm just getting around to just adding the overdrive that was in the bag with it. So let's get to it. There's the little monster right there. So let's see what's doing inside. And first I want to show you the overdrive that it actually has. So we'll set this right here. Pull this off. And you can see now this transmissions that's in this, because it's an associated, so it's still a stealth-like transmission, but it's a 5-gear transmission. There's 2 gears in the bottom, and then there's 2 gears on the idler, and then there's a single gear on the shaft from the spur gear to the motor. So it's only running this side of the transmission. This side here does not have a gear up here. So you change the gears. How does that work? I'd have to look in the book again. Well, we're going to get the book out for that anyways, so we can see what's going on. But the yeah, it only has just a single gear on the top, and then 2 and 2. So it's a 5-gear transmission. So what I wanted to do is show you, because you don't really have on this one. You don't have to look at the tires to see the overdrive. Now I have both the set screws lined up pretty close so that you can actually see the overdrive happening. Turn the radio on. Ooh, that's a cold breeze too. It's probably gonna rain tonight. And there she is. So you can watch how the overdrive is actually working. See, this thing does not. About halfway around now. Yeah, see, you have set screw, the head of the set screw here, and the bottom of the set screw over here. The front is running faster than the rear by just a slight little bit. Now they're both pretty well. Oops. Gosh dang, this thing is just, it doesn't have a good modulation to it. That might be the very first mod that I do to this thing, is I might go brushless with this thing so that I can actually get some decent modulation out of it. Because that on the bench, that's frustrating. But now they're both pretty well lined back up. So now what we're going to do is we're changing these 2 gears out. And where does it say in the book? Because we're going to use the book on this one. I'll set you guys up in my new little apparatus overhead so that we can see all of that. 2654. So it's actually not overdriving the, well, technically it is, but it isn't. It's overdrive, it's underdrive. You're changing the gears back here to underdrive more. So that's overdriving the front. Underdrive, overdrive, same thing. So you're just slowing the back end down a little bit more so the front end gets more spin. So once we get you set up into the overhead, and then we'll get on with this, I'll pull the tranny out and we'll get going on that. Here we go. Let's see. All right, we'll shut this down. This thing doesn't have an on-off switch on it, which I think is kind of weird, but I used to do that back in the day anyways, is get rid of my power switches so that they wouldn't be such a hindrance to try and figure out how to mount the stupid things. Get the battery out just for safety because and I noticed that, look at this, it's black to red. So they have the motor wired to the ESC backwards anyways, because the way that they have this in the truck. Now this transmission is actually able to be flipped around just the way that it is. As you can see, the skid already has the holes in it just to flip it around. And then you just flip your wires on your motor and you're good to go. But you have to get a different, I think it says you have to get a different shaft in order to do the overdrive, because if you do that, then the rear is going to be overdriven to the front, and that's not good. But we're not going to do that anyways. I'm not going to mess with that stuff anyways, because this is basically the way that I would want it anyways, is the motor forward. So here we go. Let's get the drive shafts off first before we even start before we throw you up into the overhead. Get our little, get the body out of the way. Get our little parts tray down here. Oops. Oh, look. And you can see it fell right down in there. Yep, sometimes it's just nice to have the tools magnetized, and other times it's just not so much. There we go. Freewheeling. Now it's just a gravity car. All right. Get it. Motor unplugged. Goodness gracious. Oh, why won't that come undone? There we go. All right. Now, for that, now let's get you up into the overhead. I'll get you up here and situated. Make sure you're in the right spot. Pretty close. Get that one out the way. Now we can zoomerize. Now, pretty much all it is just going to be these 4 screws, and the transmission is just going to fall out. Yes, I am putting you through the agony of doing this one, because I want the new folks to see how simple some of these vehicles really are to do, and compared to some of the other more complex ones. The engineering on this is really nice. It makes it really nice and simple to do. And this makes me just continues my fandom, as it were, however you want to call that, for associated products. Even though it's not really, I guess it's not really associated anymore. But anyways, so there you go. There's the transmission. So let's turn this in just a little bit more. Make sure I know where I'm at before I sit down and we start doing this. And you can start right here. Take the spur shield off. And I haven't ever gone through this transmission myself either, so this is all new to me too. And we'll take the motor out. It's new and old to me, really, because I mean, it's kind of an old design, but then again, it's not, because I haven't ever seen the 5-gear transmission before. I remember the old original transmission that Associated had way back, and it was a 6-gear, and it was, you know, this fat too, but it was just 2, 2, and 2, and I never could understand why, because it was just, there was nothing, you know, like this back then. So why was it that way? I didn't understand. Then they came out with the stealth transmission, which pretty well looks like that, and it was just single gear, and that's what the Vanquish is, you know, patterned off of, is the single gear, the 3-gear transmission. Oops, might help if I take that off first. And this nut here for this is the 7mm nut driver, just so that you know, that is 7mm. Oh, enthusiastic doggies. Yeah. Those there. Take the motor plate off, just because. Don't really have to, because it's not actually into anything else. You can crack the case on this without doing it. No, you know what? We won't. Leave it right where it's at. It doesn't need to come off. We don't need to mess with it. We're just taking these 5 screws out and see what we got. Here's that bearing coming into play again. So nice. Really trying to stay in frame here. Let's move this guy over here. I think I got it more focused onto this spot right here. Dang it. When I get down to this, I'll get the book out and we'll open it up and set it underneath the tray here so that you can see where we're going with this. Get you out of the way. You can stay in there. You can stay in there. One more. Okay. Now that we got that done, let's set that right there like that. Let me get the book. And I'll crack this thing open for you guys so it can show you right what we're doing. So I'm not going to spill anything over here. So what we're going for, this is the stock option that's in there right now. This is the motor plate. Motor goes this way onto the motor plate. This is the rear of the car. It's a 2753 that's in there with the 2852 on the front. Now what we're doing is we're going to this one here, which is a 2654, which is this guy. You can see it's stamped right on there, 26 and 54. And it is in here too, so if you ever got anything all mixed up, pieces sitting in the box somewhere, it is stamped inside the groove right here, in one of the grooves. These are the ones that go together. Of course, you'd find out when you go to try and put them in and you had two of the wrong gears in there, because they're not either going to reach each other or they're not going to fit. It's going to be too tight. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to take this guy off right here like this. See, this one here says 27 on it. And this is your 53. So this just slides out of that one just like that. And it's screwed onto that plate. Set that there. We can slide that up off of there. We can take this one right now and put right back in there. So that can sit over there like that while we deal with this one. Now, this is the 1.5 mil screws, or the socket driver is 1.5 mil. And it's going into plastic, so you don't have to worry about messing with Loctite or anything. And I would like to know it, if your opinion on, is this a mod? Being that it come with it? Because it's still technically, in my mind, it's still box stock, even though I'm doing this, because it came in the box with the truck. It just wasn't installed. So, and they call it options. So, what do you think? You think it's a mod? Or is it still box stock? The only other thing that I've actually done to this truck is I've just changed the configuration a little bit on the shocks. Let's see. That comes off of there real easy. Just like that. Let me take this little guy and put him back on there. And just like that. And start back in. These suckers are going to be probably hard, because this is going to be... Screws have probably never been in this before, so it's got to cut threads in there. Let's start that one. I can't tell if that stuff falling out of the trees and hitting my shade, or if it's rain that I'm hearing. I can't tell. And I can't see it either. But I can hear it smacking I think it might be rain. Oh yeah, I can kind of see it on the roof of the truck out there. Just be nice with them. And yep, it's getting more consistent now. The rain has started down. It's a good thing I have the easy up, so we can stay up underneath there. As long as the breeze don't kick up, we're not going to get wet. So, get this. I don't know if you guys can hear that. You might not be able to because I had the microphone on me, so it's probably you probably can't hear it. But now that it's actually kind of wound up a little bit, it's getting softer. So it's probably just a passerby. So there you go. Running those in there like that. And just as simple as that. Put them back in there, mesh it up. We're ready to party. Almost. Almost ready to party. All right. Gears are in. We have gone from the stock overdrive option to option 2 of the overdrive. So get those guys out of the way. Ooh, see, we made a mess in the book too. Yay! That's what you got to do. You got to make a mess in the book. I'll bring this back over here, and then we'll just button her up. Another quick and easy. Easy peasy. Oops. I'm pushing on the out drives. Easy peasy. But, you know, for some people, that is a little bit intimidating to do because, you know, it's just a lot of people don't want to mess with doing stuff like that. So before I get this really buttoned down, I want to get these two because this is kind of, I think I kind of pulled on the, nope, it's running free so far. Pull the top of the case in, you stay in there. And just like that, the rain is gone. Pull the top of the case in, let that snug. Cool, we're still running free. Just make sure that you do that as you're doing it, because just in case it didn't align something or something snuck in there while you're doing stuff, get a little bind. That way you're not so far into it that you gotta tear it completely back apart. Just check after each screw. Oh yeah. Those two top ones are the longest ones. It's funny because they're all the same length screw, but the two top ones, it takes more to put them in than the bottom ones. Really kind of interesting, especially being that there's a screw coming in from the other side to hold the motor plate on. So these two shafts, well, those three This one here and these two up here are all doing double duty. These two over here are just their own, but see, this is much shorter too. It's open, but they come just through to almost flush. All right. Get the clutch hooked back up here. Now this is a funky little thing too. You see the little peaks on all of this because it's not a slipper clutch. There's no slipping to this at all. Ooh, see, this is what I was talking about. See, it's really tight now. So either something. Because it was free after we got this one done, or did I get ahead of myself and just run both of those in? What got bit down on? Why is that so much tighter? I don't know. That's weird. I'll investigate it later. I'm going to show you, just do a full reassemble here. And then, let's see, this is got all the edges, and you put all the peaks in each one of these. Just got to line it up is all. That sits down there like that, and that sits down there like that. Same thing on this side. See, it's not a slipper clutch at all. It's just a direct drive. Not really direct drive. Direct drive is when you got the spur on the axle. I don't know, maybe it'll run itself in. It does feel pretty stiff though, so I may pop that sucker back open. But it's not binding so much that we can't do, that I can't show you how much overdrive we have now. Yeah. There we go. Okay. I want that guy just like that. Yeah. Now since we did that, so I can do a little bit of about the motor mesh too. Because some folks are a little bit confused at it on that too. I've never done the paper thing. Never really needed to. It's just pretty well just pull it in. And it's just got a little knock back and forth where it's not moving the pinion. So there's that little bit of lash in there. That way it's not bound up. Then once you get it good, you just kind of snug them a little bit. And then check it again and make sure that the motor didn't walk on you. Yeah, that's good. Yep, we'll go there. Then we'll put the motor cover back on. This is almost a traditional associated style motor cover too. It's kind of funny looking at this. It's almost exactly like it was on the original RC10 buggy. Kind of funny. So, all right, move that over here. I'm gonna flip this guy over here on its side. take one of the short dudes. Ah, you're going to make me do this, aren't you? There we go. Okay, that started. Drive line's in the way. Have it sitting down where it needs to be. What's it hooking on? There we go. Then we'll go with one of the long ones. Is that one started? Oh, see, one of the plastic collars came off. The drive line. All right. Everything is going to go back to place. And then we will see. Still makes your arm tired. But I still just like using manual tools. So much better. Power tools they're great unless you're going to use them to just run stuff in and stop before it's completely in. And then finish them off. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Then my little plastic collar that goes over my metal collar. Ah, yeah, see, that's got to be there, or else you're going to lose the pin. Okay. This needs to be turned right over here like this. So that and turn that to right there. Run the pin in. Hey. Your drive line's wanting to fall apart on me. Okay. Now, set this guy back up on here. Just like that. And we will get you down here after we back out a whole bunch. So that you're not up close and personal with the molecules of the bolt. So now, get our battery back in here. Oh, make sure we put our black to red. That's where they have it with the motor going this direction. in the speed control for some weird reason instead of just reversing it in the radio or something like that. I don't know. Maybe because it's brushed. And we'll strap our battery in. It doesn't really have to be strapped in. We're not going anywhere. But just for safety purposes, just because it looks right. Oh, come on. Come undone. Okay. Radio on. Car on. Now, we should have that much more. Oh, yeah. Yep, they're almost back around to each other already. See if I can get this to actually do something very slow. Go back around again. Look how much faster that front one is turning. Yeah, it may just need to be run in a little bit. I'm going to leave it alone for right now. We'll go out and... Wow. Yep, see, they're right back with each other. Got a lot more overdrive on this thing now. Whole heck of a lot more. It doesn't say anything about what the percentages were from the stock overdrive that was already in it to this overdrive. It doesn't say anything about that in there, what the percentages are. So if you know, put it in the comments so other people know it also. That's always a helpful thing to do because, I mean, there is such a thing as too much overdrive. So now that we've got that done, all of my overdrives are done. Woohoo! So now, get this thing angled here so I don't have to hold on to it no more. All right. We are overdriven. Fool's Gold got its overdrive. Dementor's got its overdrive now. We put more overdrive into the Ecto. So 10.3's always had overdrive in it for a long time now. So yeah, we are overdriven. So with all of that fun and frivolities, I will say thank you very much once again for being here. I appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. The channel is going very well as far as I'm concerned anyways. It's been doing really good. I'm not expecting anything super crazy huge anyways. This has been a lot of fun for me and I'm hoping to do a lot more. But now that I've got that stuff done, we can get on to some other cool builds and get the 10.3 out, or not the 10.3, but the TC3 out and start building up that vintage one. I've got another vintage radio coming so that I can get one good one out of those two going, because the first one I did get it up and running right off the bat, but the connections for where the battery cartridge set in there was so corroded that it had run up the wires and the wires were rotten. So hopefully this one that I have coming is going to help remedy that, because evidently it's not a working piece. Hopefully the pieces that I need, I can actually just transfer over to that one and we'll be good to go. Otherwise, I'll start looking for another one. All the internals, as far as most of these go, even the FMs and the PCMs and all that stuff, they all pretty well the same as far as for the battery goes. The circuitry is the same, just a little bit more advanced as they went along. So, anyways, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. So glad that this channel is actually doing what it's doing. I'm really pleased with what it's doing. Surprised too, really. I am absolutely surprised at some of it, how some of them are taking off. So don't forget, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know about some of this stuff. If some of you guys know something more about, like, with the percentages in this, put it down there in the comments so somebody else can see what it is. I like to know what the percentages are myself too. I'm not seeing it. It doesn't say, unless I'm just looking over it, because, blind in one eye and can't see out the other. Anyways, appreciate you guys being here. Like, subscribe, comment, show the love, show the hate. More love. And share. Check all your subscriptions, make sure they're working. And we will see you on the next one. And keep this puppy rocking. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.